Oh, there's no video here. Oh, there we go. Hello, hello, hello. I think I'm going to do a YouTube live as well as a Facebook live.
So update you guys on what's going.
So hey guys, I'm here. I'm doing a Facebook live today and a YouTube live at the same time. So I'm going to be answering questions. I wanted to do office hours. How y'all doing? I'm just happy it's Friday. So I wanted to do like a quick video, answer some questions. So I know for me, when it comes to debt, like if I have 15 debts listed out, I think that, should she get rid of the RV? Let's say I did have 15. Hey, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. As promised, I said that I was going to be implementing a new office hours with Young Yet Wise where you guys can write in and answer your money questions. I'm also on Instagram Live, so I'm gonna bear with me here as I try to go live on both. Let me see something. Oh, here we are. Hey, Instagram. Hello, Google Hangouts. I'm live on both platforms today. Welcome to Young Yet Wise. I'm Candice Marie, where this is the first time I'll be holding office hours for you guys. So I sent an email to my list asking you guys to write in and answer your money questions that you may have. So today I'm just going to be reading over the money questions that I received. And let me just pull up the questions. 1 second here. And thanks for joining me. I know it's like a Friday afternoon. It's tough to do both platforms. I didn't think about this. Okay, the first one I'm going to answer is, what do you believe should be the primary money goals for people who have jobs which are not stable? Example, a temporary manufacturing job. Do you save 3 to 6 months of expenses first, or do you pay down debt first? Should I still invest 15% of my income? Oh, this is a great question. I do like this question. So let me just read it one more time for those of you who are just joining. So the first question I'm going to answer is, what do you believe should be the primary goals for people who have jobs which are not stable? Do you save for 3 to 6 months of expenses first, or do you pay down debt? And should I still invest 15% of my income? I think that when your job isn't stable, that they recommend you having more than 3 to 6 months of expenses, just because you don't really know like what's going to happen. When you have a 9 to 5, usually people recommend to have 3 to 6 months of expenses. But when you're a business owner or you have temporary income coming in, they recommend you having even more. So I think that risk management is like the first foundation when it comes to your finances, making sure that you do have that emergency fund built up, especially if you're not sure like where an income is going to come in. And then, so while you're building up that fund, I think paying down the minimum on your debt makes sense. Because it's like, it's hard when you have so many different goals. If you only have so much money coming in each month and you're trying to put like all your money in these different buckets. So like the more money buckets you have that you're focusing on, the slower it's going to take you to reach your money goals. So I think first, the emergency fund should be your main focus while you're paying the minimum on your debt. Once you get your emergency fund in a good place, especially if you have temporary income, then you could focus on knocking out the debt that you have, using the snowball method. And should I still invest 15% of my income? 15%. I think that investing, you do always want to invest, right? Because investing in the long run is going to help you with, oh, hey, Mel. Investing is going to help you in the long run increase your net worth. So I think a lot of people, when they're focused on just paying off their debt, it's hard to increase your net worth, because if you're using money to just pay off your debt and you're not really investing, your net worth is kind of just going to like balance and like stay the same. I know so many buckets you have here. I do think that the emergency fund should be like the main focus right now, building up that emergency fund, and then while you're paying the minimum on the debt. I think you could still invest, because I just feel like for me, it's important for me to invest so that my net worth is still growing. And that's why when I was paying off of my debt in the beginning, I was mostly investing first while paying the minimum down, because I didn't want to be debt free with a net worth of 0. And investing your money is going to give you like the fastest way for your assets to grow. And rather than like your money just sitting in a bank account. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Hey, Instagram, I am on Instagram Live and I'm also on YouTube Live answering some questions. So I'm going to move on to the next question here. Okay, so how do I make a budget? How do you make a budget when you're behind on bills? Okay, this is a good one. So when you're behind on bills, I think it's still important that you sit down and first of all, still make a plan for yourself. I know it's easy when you're behind on your bills to feel like, okay, I don't even want to face this situation right now. I don't even want to log into my accounts. I don't want to see what bills actually do, but I still think it's important for you to sit down and still map out what your payments are. Like how much are you paying in your fixed expenses? And your fixed expenses are things that don't change. You know, those are things like your rent. Those are things like if you have a car payment, those are things like that are just every month, they don't change, like your insurance. Your discretionary expenses are going to be things like your food, eating out mostly because you still need to eat. So you need to have I feel like the food budget is something that you need to live. But like I'm talking about like eating out budget, maybe like your travel expenses, you know, your savings. Those things are kind of like your discretionary because you have more of a say of what you're saving towards those things. So I think that it's still important to have a plan, even if you're behind on bills. So just sit down and still write out how much you owe on everything, and just how much that you would like to be making. But I think it's important to have like an actual budget and then a budget for what you would like to be making. So, but if you're behind on bills, you still need to have that plan, write down all of your bills, write down all of your expenses. And then like if you were behind, for example, on like on a gas bill, still put what the minimum payment is on that bill in the budget, but then have like another category for how many months you're behind on this bill or what you owe, so that you can see what you owe on these bills. And then I also think that cutting down your expenses or finding ways to make more money is going to be key in this situation here, because that's really the only way that you're going to be able to get caught up on your bill. So the goal is to cut back on much of your expenses, you know, cutting back on things like, can you cut back on your cell phone bill anyhow? Can you like just finding ways to save as much as possible so that you can use that extra money to catch up on your bills? And also, is there any way that you can make extra money? I think sometimes when we think about a side hustle, we think that has to be something that we're doing forever, when it really doesn't have to be something that you're doing forever. It doesn't have to be like a complete business. I mean, you want it to be legal, but it doesn't have to be something that you're like, okay, I'm going to be in this for the long term. It could be just something that how can I make money today so I can use this extra money to pay my bills? So sometimes when it comes to a side hustle, I feel like people get caught up in like, has to be this long-term business that I'm doing forever. But it's really like, how can I make extra money? It doesn't have to be long-term. And so like cutting down expenses, finding ways to make extra money, and also calling your creditors that you're behind on. You know, is there a creditor that is calling you and you feel like they're more difficult? Maybe you want to knock out and create a plan with them first before making a plan with the people who are a little bit more lenient. And also be kind when you're calling these people. You know, keep a calm voice. Ask them if there's a way that you can work out a payment plan with them. And also, when you ask for more than what you want. So, for example, if you wanted to make a payment plan with them and you really wanted $100, you're like, hey, can I pay $100 a month? But your goal is really $75. So if you really wanted 100, you should start off with 75. Like, hey, I only have $75 a month to go to this goal, because it's about negotiating. So you want to start off with the lowest possible. I mean, a little bit higher than what you actually want, so that there's room to negotiate. And also, again, like, be kind to them. If you're dealing with a difficult person, maybe hang up and try to call back and see if you can deal with a different representative. Most of the time, you might get a new person on the phone. So maybe there's something that they can do to work out a plan for you. Like I said, cutting down expenses and yeah, finding ways to make more money. It's going to be, but a budget is important, no matter if you're making $10,000 a month or whether you're making $1,000 a month. It's still important to see where your money is going and keeping track of that. So, and the last question here that I'm going to answer today is, okay, so I'm following the debt this is kind of a long one. I'm following the debt snowball, and already I've gotten rid of 3 credit cards. I was at 0, but I used $536 for my dog for an emergency vet visit, but now I'm back to 0. So they have a $500 line of credit and 2 more credit cards. They own an RV, and they pay 9% on the balance of $4,500, but I pay $300 a month. I want to get rid of this and budget to get rid of it by June 2018. It is the 15th debt on my list to get rid of, by the way. It is stored in Long Island, and I live in Florida. When I get rid of this, I save $300. It is a thorn in my side, especially since I can't monitor it closely. Is this a good idea to get rid of it sooner rather than later? Okay, so, wow, this is this is a long question. Let me just try to analyze it quickly. So you have 15 debts currently. You've already paid off 2 of those debts. And the RV, you're paying $300 a month, $200 for the RV, $100 for the storage fee. And the balance is currently $4,500 with the 9% interest. And even though the RV is number 15 on your list, should you move it up your list so that you can have an extra $300 to work towards your other debts? Or should you still focus on your other debts and put the RV kind of in the 15th place? I feel like if the RV is number 15 on your list, and if the balance is $4,500, it's more than the other debts that you have, because you said it's already kind of last on the list. I feel like you're going to end up finding extra money if you still keep with the snowball method, dealing with the debt that has a smaller balance first. So rather than focusing on the debt that has like the RV with the $4,500, if you already have something that's like maybe a $400 debt, knocking out that debt first, because then you're going to get the minimum payment and the extra payments from that debt, and the little debts along the way, if that makes sense. So I think that you should still leave the RV where it is on the list, because I feel like since it's a larger balance, it's going to take you a little bit longer to pay it off versus, I just lost my question here. I'm trying to find it again. Yeah, so if you said you have 15 other debts and the RV is the 15th one, even though you would save $300 from that payment by paying it off, I feel like you're also going to end up saving money by paying the credit cards with the smallest balance ahead of the larger balance. And you're still going to create those small wins. I know the RV is a pain in your thorn. You said it's a thorn in your side. And you live in Florida and it's in Long Island. I'm trying to think, is there a way that you can like rent out this RV, or is it like not able to be rented out? So maybe that's another like income stream, like an extra flow of cash flow that you can have coming in, and then use that extra cash flow to knock out your debts even faster. That's just like a suggestion. I'm not sure what you actually have the RV there for, but again, if it's the 15th debt that you actually have, I'm just wondering if instead of bringing that one to the forefront, just still keeping with the debt snowball and knocking out the debt with the smallest balance next versus pulling up the RV, since that one is the larger balance. So I hope that answers your questions. Thank you guys so much for even writing in your questions. I'm on Instagram and YouTube, so hey to everyone here today. I just started this new thing with Friday office hours with yours truly, where you guys would write in and answer and ask your money questions, and I would answer them live. So I'm excited. This is my first one that I'm actually hosting. If you guys aren't signed up to my email list, make sure that you go and sign up, because I have a free 5-day email series where every day we're tackling a different part of your finances. So it'd be great to have you on the list. And yeah, just lots of good free goodies. You know, I'm talking about credit score tips, how to save up more money. I'm going over like debt and like loan payments. So lots of great things that we're covering in those 5 days. So if you guys aren't signed up, just make sure that you hit the link in my bio. I think it's in my bio. It should be in my bio, and subscribe to my email list. If not, right when I end this video, I'm going to update the link in my bio. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to write in your money questions for next week if you have any money questions that you want to be answered by me. Thank you again. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Okay, this always happens to me. I can never end.